Hey, soul warriors, have you ever stood at the crossroads of a decision, feeling torn between a whispering guidance and a loud commanding voice? In this moment, you're facing the eternal dilemma. Is it my intuition guiding me, or is it just the ego talking? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of discernment. We'll explore the subtle yet profound differences between the voice of your true self and the persuasive echo of the ego. All right, let's get right into the secrets of your inner wisdom to ensure that every step that you take is aligned with your soul's purpose. The ego and intuition, like to me, have you ever been when there's like two of your friends, your close friends around, and they're talking like about your life like you're not even there?
Yeah.
And they're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And you're like, hello, I'm right here. Like, are you going to include me in this? This is what I feel like the intuition and the ego are doing. The intuition is giving me like, oh yeah, that's for you. And the ego's like, oh, well, and they just like, and I'm like, hey,
What about me?
what about me? And the reason, I mean, this is like exactly why I'm likening it to two friends is because a lot of people like to demonize the ego.
Yeah.
Like the intuition is like the angel on one shoulder and the ego is the devil on the other. It certainly can be, but the ego has a purpose and the ego can be a friend. So the more you think of it in that way, that these are two loving friends talking about you, and then you get involved in the conversation.
Right. I mean, I think that a lot of the times when we're looking at the ego, we're, like you said, we're demonizing it in such a way. But, when you're doing that, you're demonizing a part of yourself.
Exactly.
Because it is a part of you, and honoring that and playing well together is best.
All the time. And so what is the intuition? The intuition is your soul self. So this is the true you. The you that sometimes when you're like, I don't really feel like myself, or I don't feel fulfilled, that's a good indication that you're leaning a little bit more into listening to the ego than the soul self.
Right.
The soul self, your intuition is what you want to lead by and lead with. Your ego, I like how Eckhart Tolle, he defines it as it's the mind-made self.
Yes.
It's the self that's been created by how you were treated as a kid, what you've been taught, all the experiences, all the input that you've had that you've repeated in your head because you took it personally or you took it as gospel truth because somebody you love told you.
All these beliefs that we grab onto, because that's kind of the way the program is set up, so that we can take in all these structures and systems and all these things. And then that's when, the intuition starts to kick in and knocks down the barrier of like, no, this isn't right for you. These are the things you need to go towards, versus the systematic knowing.
Exactly. So if you're feeling unfulfilled, you're feeling frustrated all the time, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling like you love the people around you, but nobody understands you. It's because you're leading with that ego side, that mind created self side. So it's not aligning to who you are. It's just an aspect of you. And that's what they're expecting of you. So when you try to go into the side that feels a little better to you, that intuitive side, that soul-led side, people are like, what? This is who you've been presenting as. Like, no. What's up with you? You're being weird. Are you crazy? Like, what's going on?
The intuition is the free bird, if you will, of you. It really is. It loves everything, wants to explore everything, wants to be a part of everything. Everything is a go. Your intuition is all about the experience, all about the feel good things of life that can happen, and the things that you can create that'll make you that way. Where the ego is more of the protective base.
Yeah.
But the main part is to protect you from different things that might occur in your life. But at the same time, it stops you from exploring the very thing you should be exploring. So when they're having that conversation back and forth where the intuition is saying, hey, go ahead and take that left, and the ego is saying, no, take that right.
Yeah.
And then there's you, and you're like, always go with your intuition. That gut feeling, that knowing, when that hits you, wherever part in your body, because you know when it hits you, go with that. Because at that point, the ego is just kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not liking that. Things are going to change. And I don't want that to happen right now.
Right. So the more you're friends with your ego, the more the ego learns to trust you, and you learn to work with and trust your ego, then it won't act up so much.
Yeah.
And the way you do this is the more you're working on yourself, the more you're getting centered in the God, goddess being of who you are, the brilliance of who you are. That program starts to take a hold, and then the ego can function from there. Because a lot of this is not the ego's fault. It's the ego has been, it's from the mind. So it's all those programs playing. So the ego's just going with the instruction of the old hurts. You know, last time I did that, this happened and that was painful. And so the ego's like, oh, they said that was painful. They said that's this. Nope, let's not do any of that. Where your soul might be like, you've grown, you're different now, you're starting to really know who you are and step into who you are. So this person, like say in a relationship, for example, that's presenting to you, like, we're not running off of those programs anymore. You've done that work. So please approach this new person from that soul-led place so that they can meet you in that soul-led place.
Right.
Because if you're running from the ego place, you're going to get this same type of pattern of people with, you know, that don't know who they are or are ego led as well, which will lead to a lot of pain. So the ego can totally be right. Mm-hmm. But if it's working in conjunction, if you're working, I like to call it as like my board of directors, and the soul is my chairman of the board. The soul is in charge of everything. And I'm in charge when I've stepped into my soul place, because then that's soul led. But until then, my intuition, which is part of me, so it is really me being in charge and being in all the different positions. But I like to recognize them and hear all of them. If you're constantly like, if you can tell the difference between intuition and ego, and you're like, no, ego, shut up. Like, you're not wanting to be heard here. Everyone has a seat at the table when we're functioning as a whole being. Everyone's input is valued. Because the ego might be saying that again because of an old pattern. And you can be like, good point, ego. So I don't want to approach this person with that old pain, that old hurt. I want to really get into me, and I want to be totally upfront with my soul-led place so that they can understand who I am and we can see if we're a match. Thanks, ego. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you, soul. You know, you said I need to talk to that person more. You gave me that nudge, or that big feeling came over me as soon as that person walked in the room. I'm going for it.
Right. I mean, I believe that the bottom line for all this is trusting yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, the ego takes over when you're wavering, when something inside of you has shifted and you've decided that your intuition, your gut feeling, those things aren't right for some reason. So then the ego takes over to protect you from doing things you're not supposed to be doing, mm-hmm. or to kind of jolt you, if you will, to say, no, that part, what you're saying to the ego, no, that's not resonating with me. I'm going to go with this. It kind of gives you that bit of a push too, so that you're able to move forward. But I think that the bottom line with this is trusting yourself. There is a knowing, a wisdom, an understanding, a collaboration, if you will, within us to be able to dictate what we can and cannot do. Right. You know, and if we let the ego, our ego, run rampant, there's a lot of things that we will miss. But I know that it's a part of me, and I respect that, and I honor that. And I also have a conversation with it when it's going haywire about something, and because I'm listening to my intuition and my gut feeling, and it's going, no, you don't want to do that, you don't want to explore that, why do you want things to change? And I just kind of sit back, take a breath, and I'm like, you know what, ego, thank you for being concerned, but I got this. And I think that this is where I need to go, because I need to understand and explore and experience what's down that road. And it's okay.
And that's how you build trust with yourself, mm-hmm. by talking to all the parts of yourself and not shaming those parts of yourself, and respecting those parts of yourself and giving them that voice, because you're giving yourself that voice, mm-hmm. instead of just letting those auto programs run amok. Right. So let's get to the beginning. Let's go like the basics, because maybe you're like, I can't tell the difference. I can tell there's 8 million voices in my head. I don't know if I'm just like having a mental breakdown, or, you know, which is which are which parts of me. And there's lots of different parts of me, and me. Your body has a voice, your soul has a voice, your courage has a voice, your mind has a voice. Like, there's all these different voices. You might have the voice of your father in your head. You might have the voice of your best friend in your head. That's why people wear "What would Jesus do" bracelets, so you can have that voice of Jesus in their head. You know, whatever, spirit, God, goddess, whatever it is. Recognizing all these parts are awesome. But easy way to tell, think of something like an opportunity that you might want, like a new relationship, a new job, you know, increased visibility that comes with increased money, like something like that. And so picture whatever that is, and then notice like that like, ooh, excitement at the beginning of it. That's your intuition. And notice all the other things after, like, that's scary as fuck. Like, or, ooh, like that. Okay. Maybe we could slow that down a little bit, because all the nerves come in. Yeah. No way. Or like, no, because last time if that comes in. So that initial, it can just be a sensation. It can just be a word. Spirit, your soul is very simple. It's very subtle. It's not, and the ego can be very loud and very animated and the biggest drama queen you've ever seen. So this is kind of how you tell who goes first. Your soul always goes first. Yeah. Even if you tend to listen to the ego. And this is why a lot of people are like, how do I even listen to my soul? We actually have a video on that, and we'll link that above in case that's, you know, where you're at, so you can get more into that space and that learning and remembering. So I think a lot of us, we miss the soul speak, and we don't get the intuition because it is subtle, and it's pretty quick, and it's pretty instantaneous, although it can stay with us when we start paying attention. This is about practicing listening to that. Like, what's the initial thing? I'm going to pause and I'm going to hold that energy. I'm going to still feel that excitement in me, and I know you want to speak, ego, just, you know, give me a second, because I'm feeling this energy and I'm letting it fill me. And then, okay, when you're really solid in it, then okay, go, ego. And let it go. Let it and watch it. This is where you're observing. You're not attaching. You're not like, oh my God, you're right. Maybe at the beginning you are.
I think one of the best things that you can do is playing witness to all of it.
Yeah.
You know, really like sit back and watch what the ego comes up with, what your intuition comes up with, what your soul comes up with, and just play witness so that you can take it all in, because again, they're all parts of you. So that gives you a good indication where you are actually sitting, what is motivating you, how things are proceeding for you, because all these parts of you are going on, you know, doing, one's driving, the other one's flying, the other one, you know what I'm saying? So then you bring them together, like, okay, and have a meeting of the minds.
Yep. Call your board meeting.
Exactly. And you're the head honcho, because that's what it is. You're the head honchos. These are all the different parts of you, but you lead and you decide what's best for you. Having a dialogue with all of them is great, but like, play witness. It's fun to do. I do it often, and boy, do I have a chuckle. The stuff that my soul, my ego, my intuition comes up with, my soul team, it's freaking brilliant.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the ego, it can be quite funny.
It can.
If you look at it as like a big drama queen, sometimes it gets hilarious. If you look at it as it's so creative. The scenarios it comes up with, I was like, wow, you should like write movies or soap operas or something, because this doomsday stuff is like, wow, it's deep.
The storyline can be epic.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at it almost as a form of like, this is my creative writer friend. Okay, so what can this look like in a regular life situation? So this might be looking like you at your job, or you in your relationship, and the soul's like sliding in and whispering, honey, this isn't really filling you anymore. So whenever you're ready, it's good to like change to another job or get out of the relationship whenever you're ready. And you can cycle around in that as long as you want or not. And then you got your ego coming in like,
what the hell are you talking about? Change other jobs. What are you talking about?
Right? Like my work bestie is here, not realizing you're just trauma bonded with your work bestie because work is horrible.
Yep.
Like you start like, well, I have my desk set up the way I like it, and I have a window, and I don't know what I'm going to get in another place, and I'd have to update my resume. Oh, the tragedy, the resume. No. And then and interviewing, we don't want to go through all that. Mm-hmm. That's too much. This isn't that bad.
Yeah. And then you get home and you're in your comfort zone, and then your soul kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you that feeling that that doesn't feel good being in that job. I want to do this. And then it gives you all the feelings, all the feel good that's where you want to go. So, and then the ego is like in the background going, did you forget what I said?
Yeah, the ego will remind you often, but so will the soul.
But stick to the soul, because that is truly where you want to go, and honor that.
If you're not sure, I mean, this is tons of practice, but if you're really not sure, we have, it's totally free. It's Soul Notes. It is a weekly note written from your soul directly to you that comes to your inbox every single Wednesday. Wolf and I write a little thing at the beginning to help you, give you something to consider or focus on, or something that you'll learn. It's different every week. It links all of our videos in it, so you won't miss any of them. But the whole body of it is a note from your soul with like gentle nudges, reminders, wisdom, just things to step you into listening to it more and more and having that take front stage. So when you get home, that is what you hear when you're in the comfort of your home. Because I know a lot of us, as you're starting to step into this, you're getting home and you're just exhausted and doing the million things and thinking that you have to do all this stuff before you go to bed to get up and do it all over again. Because leading from the ego, that's how you're feeling this exhaustion, this frustration, this depletedness. Like, this is not serving you. If you get that sense of peace that you were talking about, or the sense of fullness, or the sense of something lighting you up, or just like, yeah, that's it. That's the soul. So you just let's do a little exercise for everybody. We're going to concentrate on two things. We're going to take our hand and we're going to put our hand over our heart. So take your right hand and you're going to put it over your heart. And you can gently tap if that feels good. You can gently just push down a little bit, or you can just feel the pressure of your hand on your heart. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths in and out while you're tapping or pushing or just holding your heart. I want you to remember that what dampens your spirit, what dampens you hearing from your soul, is all the noise in your mind. So that whole ego mind play is all like Grand Central Station. So you're in the middle Grand Central Station right now, but all you can feel is that gentle tapping on your heart, and you're focusing back on your breath. And then we have 3 things that we're going to say, and we're going to say them 3 times each. So the first thing we're all going to say is mind. Speaking directly to that ego, directly to that mind self. Mind, bring me quiet. Mind, bring me quiet. Mind, bring me quiet. And you're still breathing, and you're still tapping or holding your heart. Body, open to source. Body, open to source. Body, open to source. Soul, now we're talking directly to the soul. Soul, show me yes. And pay attention here. This is where we're observing. You're still tapping. You're still breathing. Soul, show me yes. Soul, show me yes. And you might feel a sensation. It could be a fullness in your heart. It could be heat coming into your hand. Something in your gut. Maybe goosebumps, tingling, fax machine noise in your head. It's just whatever comes through you. It could be a voice saying yes, yes. If you're not sensing it, yes, just keep repeating to yourself, soul, show me yes. And then pause and listen and let it show you, paying solid attention to your body. And when you've got that locked in, remember that feeling. Sit in that feeling. And you can come back and do this anytime. This is practicing sitting in that feeling. And then thank the soul, thank the mind, ego, whatever you want to call it, whatever works for you. Thank source, God, goddess, whatever you called in. One last breath. Release it all, but notice like the remnants of it still there. Like a static when you've like rubbed a balloon against your hair and you can kind of feel that. You're still going to kind of feel that fullness. So that's connecting in with your soul, and that's listening to it. So when you're starting this, or if you just even want to get stronger with it, if you hear your intuition and you hear your soul a lot and you want to like really hard line it in, do this and ask simple questions. Just like, is the job serving me? Is the job serving me? And wait for that, whatever that yes is. Show me my yes if this job is serving me. And if you get nothing except more chatter, it's a no. If you get hesitation, it's a no. You want to only go with strong hell yeses, as our little cat is. Hi, come on in. Thank you for waiting until we finish talking to our souls. Hello.
I know that when we were doing the exercise, I mean, but this is years of me doing what I do. Mm-hmm. I can feel and hear my soul like kicking down the door. Boom. Yes. How can I help?
Yep.
It was just like, it can be very animated, you know,
yeah,
too.
As you get into it, it's stronger.
Exactly. It can be so many different things. It all depends on how your spiritual team acts to things. But mine are very creative and cartoon-like, if you will.
Yeah.
Like literally the door busted open. Yes, I'm here. How can I help?
And no, it's always there.
Yeah.
So like as you really get to, develop this relationship, you get all those quirks. You get like, they're like a cartoon character, or they're like a badass, warrior, or, Wonder Woman is showing up, and
they're fun. They really, really are. So it doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't. You allow it to show itself the way it wants. And there is absolutely no wrong way, and no person is the same either. Like her spiritual team, her soul, her intuition, her ego can show up 100 times different than mine. Mm-hmm. So I can't go by that. And, comparing doesn't work.
And they shift and change too,
exactly.
Depending on the circumstances, depending on how you grow, they grow as you grow.
Exactly.
So don't lock into this is...
Right.
This is it. The essence is still the same because the essence is you. So the more you're getting to know these parts, the more you're getting to know you, the more you're understanding your essence, the more you can recognize that frequency signature in other things around you. So you can be like, yes, that frequency, that job matches, that work matches, that hobby matches, that person matches, that doesn't anymore. Bless and release that. That's awesome. Thank you. And keep moving.
Exactly. I mean, the more you do it, the better it gets, the easier it gets, the more you get to know those parts of yourself, the easier communicating with them and them with you would become. So it becomes this, what has felt probably to you a very windy road becomes a straight shot to the parts of you that are awesome, that know where you need to be, how you need to act, what you need to say. The confidence is there, the having the audacity to live the way the fuck you want.
Oh yeah.
That's the road it leads you to.
And this is just, you might not see it, but it's helping everyone around you.
Absolutely.
Because as you show up as you, this is the true way that you help other people, not the whole people pleaser, depleting yourself for everybody else. The more you step into you, the more you take care of you, the more people see that you're happy and you're lit up and you're living a really cool life and you're loving it. That's what everybody wants. They want to have fun. They want to laugh. They want to be happy. They want to feel blessed all the time and lit.
Right.
So the more you put that out, that signature, that energy is going out and it's touching everybody, and then they can be like, yeah, I want that. Okay. And then that gives them something to start working their way towards, and then as they get to know themselves, they know where their special sauce is.
It's funny because I get a lot of well, I can't do what you do, or I'm not like you. And I'm like, well, first of all, you can do everything I do, and second, you're not like me. You're like you.
Yeah, you'll do it your way.
So find those parts of you and do it your way, and do it. You don't have to do it the way I do it. But when you get curious and explore all the parts of yourself, honor and respect them and integrate them and become friends and really know what the language is between you and your soul, sky's the freaking limit, man.
Exactly. Like imagine this like a puzzle, a big jigsaw puzzle, and the picture is like the ultimate picture of what like your rich, full, awesome life looks like. And so you take it out of the box and you're like, yeah, I'm full in my spirituality and I'm doing all this stuff and I'm going to put this together and I'm going to build my fulfilling, rich life. And this is great. And then you know, of course, you look for the edges first. Most people do, or the corners. So you can start building a framework to then, you know, fill in your life. And you look and they're all corners. They're all the same black corner because you're doing the easy, the foundational, the fitting in, the holding all the pieces of yourself into the comfort zone. So now you have 800, whatever, how big this puzzle is, 800 black corner pieces. Can't put your rich, full life together with that. You can't. This is when you start exploring. This is when you find your spirituality. This is when you start finding yourself. This is when you're looking at all the pieces, and then you're getting frustrated when some of the pieces don't fit. And it looks like it should fit. So I'm going to keep going in this relationship. I'm going to keep going in this job. I'm going to keep trying to push these stupid puzzle pieces together because it looks like it should fit. And I haven't found a piece to fit in a long time, and I'm getting frustrated. And the ego's like, we can all just be over here and be corner pieces and be like each other and together, because together's better than alone over there with no puzzle pieces fitting. Yeah, no.
And my question to you is, does that feel good?
No.
It's a simple question to ask yourself. I mean, she went through a whole process, and did it feel good? And if it doesn't, that's your indication that you need to get past that. You need to move forward, heal the things that you need to heal, and move forward and go towards the things that you want. This has been the theme all along. This is the game that we're playing all along. It's about getting to know ourselves and all the different parts of ourselves, but ultimately is reaching the parts of our soul where we're happy, where we're full, where we know we're enough, where we are the shit of our lives.
Yeah.
and we are liking it, and everything is great. Not to say that there isn't shit happening out in the world. Get that. But your essence, your light, your ability to mirror out to people the wonders of what your soul can do on how you live your life, it impresses upon the others around you to do the same.
Exactly.
It gives them that ability. It gives them the permission. You know, I can't impress upon you enough how living the way you want to live fully is the best road you can ever take in your life.
Absolutely. So also, as you mentioned, the life's ups and downs coming and all this is when you're like, you've worked on the puzzle for 5 hours, and then you're like, okay, and you put a nice towel over it or something on a table where no one's going to disturb it, and you go and do what you have to do and deal with what you have to deal with and experience what you have to experience, and then you come back to it and you're still fitting those pieces together and working on it. Or You can be like some people and just throw it back in the box, put it on a top of a shelf in a closet and forget about it for a long time and not feel whole. Because imagine just shoving your whole soul self in a box in a dark closet and you're wondering why you're not feeling good. But you can come back to this. So this is a puzzle you can come back to anytime you want. And you're not going to finish. Maybe you're an overachiever and you're going to try to finish it all in one night. But then there'll be other puzzles because once you accomplish that puzzle, there'll be another one. So this is just...
When I get the puzzle thing, I personally flip it. Watch all the pieces.
When you're done?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or even like if I get stuck, flip whatever's there and watch the pieces fall.
Interesting.
To see, because then you have a different perspective.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Instead of being here, now you've done this.
Yeah.
By doing that. For me, you do whatever feels good to you.
Yeah.
But that's what I do.
Nice. And I mean, notice if you're leaving your puzzle, like you started it and you were all excited because spirituality, I'm going to manifest everything and I'm going to be great. And the secret's not working for you. And you're like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden you're throwing your bills and your change and all your crap and the puzzle's dusty and dirty and all sorts of crap is piled up on your awesome life. Don't be that person. And if you are, there's no shame in it. At any moment, you can go and clean it up and dust it off and get back to it. So this is the process of life. There's no right or wrong. You can take the long road, the short road. It doesn't matter. You're here to experience and step more into you. Yeah. And like you said, live a happy, full life.
Absolutely.
So manage your puzzle however you want. Befriend your ego, the ego. Make an awesome board of directors of all these parts of you. Tap into that intuition. Practice, 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 and it'll come easier and stronger and more awesome, and life will just be lit.
Absolutely.
As Shaman Durek says.
Absolutely.
All
right, guys. Be kind. Peace.